Manila. I keep coming back to Manila. Simply ain't no place like Manila. Manila, I'm coming home. I walk the streets of San Francisco. I tried the rides in Disneyland. Dated a million girls in Sydney. Somehow I feel like I don't belong. Hinahanap kita Manila. Ang ingay mong kay sarap.
Good day, everyone. We are students from News 101 Batch 1. I am Emmy Castillo.
I am Dela Cruz.
I am Micaela Canales.
I am Eva Dumaguit.
And I am Esconde.
And welcome to the Poddemic, podcast about the role of teenagers in new normal. The purpose of this podcast is to address the role of teenagers as well as the current and future challenges.
Hi everyone! How's your day? Christmas and New Year have passed and I wonder how you celebrated knowing that we have pandemic. Christine, how did you spend your time with your family during holidays?
Well, it's been quite nice. It was really fun. We watched a lot of movies, but there's that missing joy because we were used to going out and going to malls.
How about you, Eva? How's your Christmas and New Year celebration?
It was great actually. I had a nice relaxing holiday with most of my family.
Same as you guys, I also spent holidays with my family, but just like Christine said, there's been that missing joy. Celebrating holidays, especially Christmas and New Year, have changed. Before the pandemic, we usually go out when it's Christmas season and we hang out with our family and friends. But since we have pandemic, we're just inside in our house and we cannot do the same thing that we used to do. And I think that's quite frustrating.
Yeah, I agree with you, Christy. There's a lot of changes that happened because of this pandemic. Mass gatherings aren't allowed anymore.
But the good thing here is that we still manage to celebrate holidays with fun, even though it isn't the same as before.
Yes, because what matters the most is that we celebrate Christmas with our family, even though in just a simple celebration. I think being with your family is the true spirit of Christmas.
Since everything has changed because of this COVID-19, let us talk about the role of teenagers in new normal. What is your idea about our role as teenagers? So for me, the role of every teenager has changed a lot, especially on what we believe, and we learn a lot since this pandemic happened. We also got a lot of realizations in life.
So, how about you, Christy? What is your idea about teenagers' role in this new normal?
As we all know, teenagers are widely known in using social media platforms, and I think with this, the youth or the teenagers help break the barrier of social isolation in this new normal, and also they help such individuals to stay connected to the outside world through the use of internet, especially in spreading accurate information for us to be aware about pandemic with the use of social media.
Yes, that's right, Christy. I also think that the role of teenagers are to help people through social media. Teenagers have immense creativity and resilience. Through social media, they can help restructure or rebuild society norms. As teenagers, we are uniquely placed to understand realities and challenges faced by our community. Teenagers contributed to innovate new movements for social and economic to ensure that no one is left behind in our new normal.
I agree. I believe that the roles of teenagers have changed a lot. I noticed many of the teenagers has been a lot more creative and some even opened their online shops to help their parents because we all know that many people lost their jobs. I think that the pandemic really made teenagers more mature.
Yes, I agree with you, Crispin. I also noticed that teenagers now are more into business.
How about you, Michaela? What do you think is the role of teenagers in the new normal?
Other teenagers volunteer their time to help barangay officials to distribute the safety kits against COVID-19. And also, they support other people using their social media like Facebook, Instagram, their Twitter to spread positivity and light to others. During these hard times, we need to lift up and help each other. That's why other teenagers like us create funny and wholesome videos to shed light and hope to other people.
Right. I think teenagers, because of the pandemic, we became more aware of our surroundings and, of course, especially our health. There are many teens who are experiencing depression and such, and they made these funny and motivational videos to cheer each other up.
Yes, I also encounter such videos in YouTube and Facebook, and it gives good vibes. But we should expect future challenges as a result of this pandemic, such as what do you think, guys?
Well, I think that teenagers could experience education crisis. I think we can all agree that some of us are still not used to the new normal and we're all still adjusting. I think that there will be a possibility that some teenagers will face crisis towards education because some may still find the new normal quite a bit hard to adapt to.
Starting a new school year in this kind of environment means quite a bit more patience and effort is required from everyone. And since you mentioned it, Christine, I also have experienced education crisis. There were times that I wondered if I can still study in this kind of situation.
We should also think about health challenges because since pandemic start, many of us are getting afraid to go to the hospitals for a health checkup. It could be a challenge for us because obviously our health matters. In this kind of situation where our fellow men are afraid to do checkups, there are possibilities that they will not know what their illnesses are, or worse is, they will not know how to cure it anymore.
Right. I think that while we're in the midst of a pandemic, we know that many lost their jobs and many did struggle financially. I think one of the reasons they're afraid to go see a doctor is that they might spend a more larger money.
Also, the pandemic is producing a wide variety of not just health challenges, but also the constraints on health systems to difficulties in delivering and accessing health services.
I see what you mean, Eva and Christine. Mental health of every individuals are important. Anxiety, stress, and lack of peer contact can be a challenge for every one of us. As a natural social being, we are used to interact to others. We love to talk to our friends in random things in personal. But because of this pandemic, it made difficult for us to do the things that we are used to do before.
Well, the pandemic has offered us collective glimpse of possible crises and opportunities. And I think we can all agree that roles of teenagers have shifted. It is really hard for us to adjust, right?
Yes, that's right, because our environment today is really new to us.
Well, as long as we can prevent and avoid having problems such as mental issues, we should really take care of ourselves. So, here are some tips to cope up with mental issues and stress in new normal. First thing first is to take care of your emotional health. Taking care of your emotional health will help you to think clearly and react to the urgent needs to protect yourself and your family. The second one is take care of your body. You should exercise daily, eat healthy foods, be productive, and get plenty of sleep. The third one is to connect with other peoples, or we should talk with people we trust about our concerns and how we feel in our daily lives. So, the last one is taking a break from watching, reading, or listening to news online, including those on social media. Hearing about pandemic repeatedly can be upsetting, right? Before we end this podcast, so what are the things you all learned and improved this pandemic?
Actually, this pandemic opens a new door to me. Because of getting bored in the quarantine, I started learning playing guitar. Since I was young, I really wanted to learn it, but I am too busy with many things like academic works, so I never had the chance to learn. But now, I can play different songs with my guitar and fix the quarantine.
Oh, that's good, Christy. But me, I learned a lot also. As a teenager, it's been very difficult for me to adjust in this new setting. There's a lot of things that I need to digest and rules that I need to follow. But as a responsible individual in this society, I always make sure that I'm following the safety guidelines that were provided by our barangay officials. In that way, at least I can help our country to lessen the impact of COVID-19.
Oh, so me, since the pandemic started, I learned new stuff and I become more productive. Unlike before that, my daily life or my daily routine really sucks. All I did before was just laying in my bed and using my phone without even helping in our house. It was great that now I become more aware of what is happening around us. I can easily get information through social medias like Facebook, Twitter, and more. And I also realized that it is really important to spend quality time with our family.
Well, the pandemic helped me to remember what I am grateful for, like my family and friends. During pandemic, I improved my piano skills. I also read books to help pass time. When sometimes I feel that everything is difficult, I always remind myself how good it feels to have fun and laugh out loud with my family.
Well, for me, on the other hand, I think the pandemic strengthened the bond of our family. It made our family become more stronger, and we did a lot of fun stuff that we never had the chance of doing when everyone was still busy with their work and studies.
How about your studies? Do you have hard times with having a distance learning? What are the challenges or problems some of you is having in this kind of new education system?
At first, it's kind of hard for me to adopt the new education system because it's not what I'm used to. Online classes are obviously not the same with face-to-face classes, so it's not easy for me. But as days goes, I finally find it easy, though we cannot really avoid such technical problems and difficulties.
Well, personally, I don't have problems when it comes to connectivity and devices, though sometimes I experience laziness. So for me, that's the challenge and problem I always have. I just can't seem to have energy when it comes to online learning.
Well, for me, just like Christy, I did really struggle because this distance learning is really new to me and I'm not used to it. But of course, we have to be flexible and we have to adapt.
Yeah, I agree to Christine. We have to adapt and we have to be flexible. But for me, I think distance learning is fun and enjoyable enough. My family can help me anytime whenever I'm confused on some things, and it became easier for me to access lessons and modules with the help of internet. But sometimes I encounter connectivity and internet problems, and I think that is the most problem of students right now.
Same as you all, I also struggle a lot, especially with some subjects related to math because I am very slow learner. If there is no video presentation provided, I think I might not pass some of our subjects because I can really learn if there's no one teaching me, unless the subject or the lesson are just basics. But then having distance learning is quite fun. So that's all. Thanks for listening to the Poddemic, the podcast, with your host, Emma Castillo.
Mystic Dela Cruz,
Canales.
Eva Dumaguit.
And Christine may Esconde.
We hope you enjoy our deep dive about the role of teenagers in the new normal and as well as the current and future challenges. Goodbye and always remember to think positive but don't be positive in COVID-19. Once again, thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.